This is a bright orange Lamborghini Huracan. Huracan just came out this year. I've already seen like 3 or 4 of them. I've seen one, I think it was a black one. I've seen one lime green, which is the other classic Lamborghini color, and then this bright orange one. Almost McLaren orange, but not quite. Got the badge on here. That's its proper number as a Lamborghini, Lp 61040. But we all know that's the Huracan. Brilliant car, V10 engine. I want to say it's got 5.2 liter. And then of course it's got some automatic shifting or floppy paddle shifting. Oh yeah. I love these colors for a Lambo. Very, very nice. This is pretty cool. I'm walking along Knightsbridge, coming back from a museum. Decided to take a detour up here to Knightsbridge actually. It's not on my way back home. But, you know, McLarens are made in Great Britain, which is made up in Woking. It's actually the main dealership for all McLaren is here in London. Not only is it here in London, it's here in Knightsbridge, which is just up the road, maybe a mile, or actually probably about a mile and a half from where we were staying. Now, I'm not going to go in today. As you can see, I'm not wearing my McLaren shirt. I can't go in unless I'm wearing my McLaren shirt, right? So at some point within the next week or so, I'm probably going to try and jump in here and see if they'll let me look around the showroom. I don't know if they'll let me take pictures inside the showroom, so we'll see. But without further ado, I thought I would show it to you. Right? Can't really see much, but I'll turn it around and I'll point out some things. So first off, what you're looking at right here is a 675 LT. You can tell because of the spoiler over there on the back. I don't know how well you can see it. The spoiler over there back is a 675 LT. Now, right over here is the real deal. This is a McLaren P1. This is the one I've been looking for out in the wild. Now, I only half count this as having seen a McLaren P1 because it's not actually being driven around the roads of London. But this is actually one right here. Actually looking at a McLaren P1 with a pretty sick spec. So this is the gray, the polished gray. You can actually see the silver brakes there, and then it's got the red interior, Alcantara interior. You can see, of course, the bare carbon fiber all around on the side skirts, the doors, the wing mirrors. This thing is loaded with carbon fiber. The whole thing is made out of carbon fiber. And then we've got some other things. So we've got a 570S, which is the orange one. And then I'm actually not sure. I want to say that's a 650S there on the back. Here the LT is really the star of the show. 665 LT Spider, actually, right there in the front. And then, of course, up top we've got the F1 Racer that they have there to show off their racing might. McLaren is fantastic when it comes to racing. That's actually where they started, was making race cars, making F1 cars. It wasn't until the 90s that they eventually made the F1 road car, which actually looked nothing like that. McLaren F1 is pretty much like the pinnacle of supercars. It was the first car to really introduce carbon fiber as like the predominant material used, which made it severely lighter, allowed it to go over 200 miles per hour on just a V8 engine. It was very, very impressive. It kind of blew us from the old sports cars, supercars of the 80s and 90s into the modern supercar that we have here in the 2000s. And ever since the F1, McLaren didn't really do anything. They kept making their race cars, but the F1 and the F1 GTR, which was a more track-focused version of the F1, it was almost like a one-off. Fairly recently, they released the 12C, the McLaren Mp4-12c, which was just a complete road car. It was based off, it had built into it a lot of their racing technologies, where it had this fancy braking system that it used the brakes on the inside tire while you're turning more heavily than the outside tire so that you would get a better turn radius. They actually McLaren instituted that on their F1 racers and kept it secret. When they were found out, it actually got banned because it was too good, winning races too much. And so that's something that McLaren is famous for, is taking all of this race car tech and putting it into their road cars. So they made the 12C. The next car they made was the McLaren P1, which is bonkers. It's one of the holy trinity that I keep talking about of cars. It's my favorite car, and it employs so much F1 tech, such as a KIRS or KIRS system, where it uses an electronic, so it has an electric motor paired with a battery. Battery charges while you're driving, and you can unleash all that electric power through a motor hooked up into the engine, give you extra power. It also benefits by keeping your lag from the turbochargers that it has, so you don't get any lag between gear changes or the turbos spooling up. So all of those later cars came after the P1. So they did make the 12C, they made the P1, and then they continued on with a great line of cars. 650S was the next to come about, then the 650S Spider. Then after that, they made the then they made the 570S, which is sort of like their lowest end. It's the most affordable. Still costs over like 200 grand. But it's their most affordable car. Of course, lowest amount of power, lowest amount of specs, but still a fantastic car. That was the orange one I pointed out over there. And the 675 LT, and now the Spider, which is what we saw right there, the pale blue one up front. I also want to take pictures right now through the glass. Keep you guys holding on that. Because I'd rather wait and just take pictures of the inside. I honestly did not think they would have a P1 here. That came as a surprise to me. P1, very high demand. Only 375 of them were built. All of them were sold about $1.3 million, about 900-something thousand pounds. Of course, they were all sold before they were built, and then it's been very hard to get your hands on them. Only 375 of them. A lot of people bought them, collected them. A lot of people who had F1s, like the original F1s, bought some P1s. Very, very rare. And I'm surprised that we had any of them, that we had one there that's up for resale. So, we're going to keep walking around, see what we can find, see if we can find an actual P1 in the wild, which is what I'm still hoping for. I'm going to cut down over this direction. So, I'm on the very busy street of Knightsbridge still. About to step off into some of the back roads to see what we can find, but before we went there, I decided to show you something that is only about, I don't know, 2 or 3 blocks down from the McLaren dealership, which is the Ferrari dealership. So, thought, you know what, let's go ahead and stop in and take a quick peek at what they've got here. I'm not going to go in here today either. Ferrari is particular about their clientele that come into their places. I might be able to get in and take a look, but I almost certainly will not be able to take pictures. They are well known to be kind of stingy about that. So, this is probably the best look we'll have at their cars. But, what do we got here? So, we've got a California T called the Hendley Speciale. It is very, very nice California. Californians are typically thought of as like the lower end cars, but this California T, definitely not one of those. Very expensive, very nice, and it's convertible. Then over here we have the highest form of the Ferrari 458, which is the 458 Speciale. You can tell it's a Speciale by these little side winglets right here. Also the front inlet up on the hood, or the bonnet as they call it here. Very, very nice. I love that color. And of course they have a F1 racer here as well that they want to show off. So we got one of those right next to the Speciale. The McLaren dealership is like particularly special to me because it's McLaren, and McLaren is my absolute favorite. But Ferrari is still pretty sweet. Like I said, I'll probably see someday if I can walk inside, take a look around, just because that would be cool. Maybe dress up, pretend I'm a buyer. Be fun. But yeah, so that's the Ferrari dealership. Let's go take a look through Knightsbridge, see if we can find anything out in the wild. I saw a bright blue Mercedes. It wasn't the 6x6. I can't remember actually the name of it. So it's the Mercedes that looks like a Land Rover, but it's way bigger. It's like a tank. I saw a bright blue one that was almost the size of the 6x6. Pretty cool. So we're gonna dive down there, look at some of the hotels, see if we can find anything. literally less than a minute after I stopped my last video where I was talking about the Mercedes that almost wrecked the 6x6, I just ran into one. It doesn't have the same color as, I guess motorcycle's way too loud. It doesn't have the same color, the bright blue, but check it out. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see like it has like that Land Rover feel, almost like a Hummer. I guess it really is more like a Hummer. So it's Mercedes AMG, for the life of me, cannot remember what its full name is. But, check it out. It's a pretty cool machine. Let's check it out on the back, see if it has a name on the back. It would be helpful. Ah, man, it just says AMG. But also here, check it out. Boom. So this right here is, I'm probably gonna fudge this one. I want to say it's a Ferrari F430. One of my favorite older Ferraris. I'm not good with this camera thing, man. I'm still getting used to it. I think what I'm probably gonna have to do is I'm probably gonna have to record forward facing and then mess it up when I'm trying to look at my face. I need one of those like rotating ones. But I like the color. That burnt orange is actually very, very nice. Normally you see these in yellow, white, or red, or even black sometimes, like a classic Ferrari. But this color really pops. I'm really digging it. As far as specs go, I want to say this one is a V8. Could be a V12. No, it's definitely a V8. But honestly, I don't really know a lot about it. It was released in the, I want to say, early 2000s. Which is just outside where I'm really comfortable with talking about Ferraris. Whoa, we got something coming by over here. Look at that, speaking of Ferraris, there was a California just drove by. So yeah, nice looking Ferrari. Let's keep walking, see what we can find. I just ran into a dead end, so I'm awkwardly turning around and walking back, same road I just came down. But on the other side, because I walked around to the other side of the sidewalk, was this Range Rover. Look at how the color changes from purple to green, depending on how you look at it. So, it was a good dead end. Alright, let's keep walking. Bright red Tesla S. I've never seen one that color before. It's very, very nice. And then right behind me, a matte orange Porsche 911 GT3. With the back wing and everything. Also very nice. Oh, my phone froze up. Yeah. So I didn't get any pictures or videos of them. Sorry. They're very nice. Oh, hey. You want to see a boring gray Tesla S? Hey, better than nothing, right? Alright, let's keep going. This is apparently just not my day. Seen lots of sightings, just like catching glimpses of things. There was a bright yellow Lamborghini Aventador 2 blocks ahead of me, zipped down a road. I think it was one of these actually, kind of coming down here, half hoping to spot it. I don't know, we'll see. But this is Caddick Square, which is one of the spots was suggested to go as a pretty prime spot for seeing something. So, here I am, but it just doesn't look like it's my day. It's a nice M5. Across the street right there. Well, keep looking. Not much. Black California. Ferrari, of course. But, not bad. It's hiding back here down this kind of dead-end street in these apartments. And, just saw the front light kind of poking around this Range Rover right here. And I was like, I wonder what that is. It looks kind of like an Aston Martin, actually. You just catch the front corner of the taillight. I mean, the front corner of the headlights. This is the Land Rover I was talking about. Nah, of course I'm joking. This is the Land Rover I was talking about. I was saying there's that Mercedes. Mercedes looks like a Land Rover. This is the one. Not your typical Land Rover, which, you know, just curb top and kind of the dashing looks. But this behemoth right here, as I was talking about. So I am currently, good, I just bumped into you. Not bad, huh? Alright, who can say what it is before we get to the back? Of course, right? It's a Jaguar F-Type. How could it not be Jaguar F-Type? Jaguars this color should only be F-Types. You get anything that is not an F-Type in this color. That's just kind of wrong. This is also the S, which means, try and remember, I believe the S is a V8 with a sports package. And what that means is they tune the exhaust so it has a little bit more horsepower, but really what it has the best engine note of pretty much any car. The F-Type is a fantastic sports car by Jaguar, and its V8 sounds amazing. But with the S, they just tuned it just that much to make it even more so. Yeah, this car is apparently just a blast to drive. Great handling, down in the corners really well, and of course, that fantastic engine noise.